All right, what's good, guys? Back with Conviction Talk number 3. And I was on the phone with a client. I was on a call on our weekly check-ins. And she was telling me about how stressed out she was, and we were talking about anxiety. And literally, like, the whole hour and a half call was about, like, her anxiety, the mindset around it, right? And I figured I'd share exactly what I was telling her, because if you're watching this video, if you clicked on this video, then you probably have been dealing with a lot of anxiety. And personally, for me in my life, it felt like anxiety controlled me and I didn't control the anxiety, right? So if you're watching this, there's a good chance that you are struggling with anxiety. And the thing is like, I used to struggle with anxiety for like probably until I was like 8 years old. Whenever that was like the first real time, or 12, when my parents kind of got back on drugs, and my life really took a turn for the worst, because I always wanted control of the future. That's where anxiety comes from, is fear of the future, right? Fearing of like, what's gonna happen? Am I gonna get that job? Am I gonna lose the weight? What if this diet doesn't work? What if that girl doesn't text me back? What if my relationship doesn't last, right? Whatever it may be. But it's always the fear of the future, of what I would hold on to. Are my parents gonna leave me again? Is this girl gonna respond? Does she love me like I love her? Is she gonna cheat on me, right? Am I even gonna pass high school? What am I gonna do with my life? Who am I gonna be? And I carried this for so many years. And I remember just being robbed of my joy constantly. And it felt like I had this backpack that was 500 pounds. It was just dragging me down. I couldn't be happy at all. And when I was around 22 after my car accident, that's when I realized that anxiety is a choice. And anxiety is not your emotion to be carrying in the first place. And I was telling my client this, because again, when it comes down to anxiety is fear of the future. You cannot control the future. Whether you like to hear that or not, that's the truth. Not me, not you. We do not know what tomorrow is going to bring. And I'm going to get biblical on this because it's absolutely necessary. Okay, first off, anxiety and what we do with it can become a sin, right? That's why it talks about in Philippians 4:6, be anxious for nothing. That's what we're told, be anxious for nothing, but through prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God, and the peace of God will transcend all understanding. I butchered that a little bit, but the very first part of that, be anxious for nothing. We're not supposed to be anxious, because when we're anxious, we have fear of the future, because it's probably because we want control of the future. We are not in control when it comes down to what exactly is going to happen. Only God is. He has the perfect future for us. So it also talks about biblically, hold every thought captive, because not every thought is your own. And I was telling my client this because there's been a lot of like stress and worry and negativity coming up in her mind, right? And I was telling her, like, look, if you don't, because she's not big in the faith, I was like, if you don't like believe me, I'll prove it to you, right? So if you're watching this right now, I'm going to prove this to you, that not every thought is your own, and that anxiety that you're feeling is a lie from the devil, that you are getting deceived just like I was. And I'm a human. I was feeling anxiety today, and I knew it was the enemy trying to deceive me. I knew it, but I didn't know it for years. And you simply just don't know what we don't know. Here's my proof. And this is why it says hold every thought captive. Not every thought is your own. Anxiety does not come from God. It comes from the enemy. So does fear, so does doubt, and so does worry, right? Okay. You ever been through a breakup at any point in time of your life? Or has any traumatic thing ever happened to you. And all of a sudden, no matter what, if it's a good day, bad day, years later, it always just pops up. Like, you always just think about it, right? You always just kind of like, if you're not thinking about something in the moment, if you're not focused on a task or whatever it is in front of you, it'll seem like you will drift in autopilot into having that thought. That thought is not yours. Because this is what it looks like for a thought to be yours. And I had my client, I asked her, I said, I want you to think about the weather right now. Right? She stopped, she looked, she was like, okay, yeah, it's like sunny, it's pretty nice. I said, okay, cool. And now I want you to think about, what did I say to her? I was like, I want you to think about like this check-in call right now. Like, what did we go over? Right? And I was like, are you still thinking about the weather? No, I'm not. Because it is a choice. Because it is a choice. And then I had her dig in her past. I said, pull up like a happy memory, right? And then she pulled it up. We put it right back in the past where it belongs. And this is my proof to you. Do you still think about 2012's Christmas you had with your family that was really happy? Do you think about the time you were a little kid and you saw a butterfly? Or do you think about the time that you went bowling for the first time, or anything in your childhood that was really good? Do you keep thinking about that all the time? Is that at the forefront of your mind when nothing else is? No, because it is a selective thought. You chose that thought. That's how it's supposed to work. That you have to master your mind. You have to take ownership of your mind. The enemy will throw these negative thoughts, these fearful thoughts, these anxious thoughts. And when we grab them and hold on to them as they're our own, guess what happens? We're an absolute reflection of our thoughts. If somebody's thinking about depression, sadness, negative things, their face is going to show it, and their actions, their attitude's going to show it. They are going to be depressed. If you go to a funeral, everybody's crying. Why? Because they're thinking about what's in front of them, the death, they're thinking about everything. So they're crying. If you go to a birthday party, everybody's happy and smiling, right? Those thoughts that are just lingering around that won't go away, that is the enemy trying to take your mind hostage. And the thing is, you don't have to grab onto those thoughts. When they pop up, you literally, this is what I told her to do. I said, no, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that. I'm going to think about, how am I going to get to the gym, right? I'm going to get in my car. Okay, cool. What am I going to wear? What am I going to wear? Shoes. I like that outfit. Bet. And like, what day is it? Is it upper day? Is it a lower day? Okay, cool. What exercise am I absolutely going to go crazy on, right? Okay, awesome. It's like, all right, how am I going to absolutely crush this cardio session? That's what you need to do. And that's what helped me break free from anxiety, is because sometimes you have to go 1 second at a time. Sometimes you have to go 1 minute at a time with these things. Trust me, my brain operates fast. So sometimes it's not enough to just be like, oh yeah, I'll try to think about something else. I guess I could go to the gym. That's not enough, bro. That's not enough. Sometimes you really need to get detailed and dive in the pool of whatever thought you want to think about, so it can become real, so it has all of your focus. Because I know you know what it feels like to have something in the background lingering around that you're really anxious about, but you're trying to focus on something else, but you're not really doing it. You're putting up a facade to yourself because you didn't dive fully in on that task or that thought. It's only when we can dive fully in is when that thought goes away. And then once we dove into this, we don't come back to that thought. We're like, that's not my own, and that doesn't serve me. You got to ask yourself, do these thoughts, do they help you or do they hinder you? Do they serve you or do they strip you of your power? Because if it strips you or it hinders you, it is not worth having. Why would God send you thoughts that are going to strip you and cripple you? He doesn't. You have to discern the voices in your head, the thoughts, And there's going to be, it's like, this is how your mind works. You have a phone, right? The mind. A thought pops up. It's like a phone call. Okay, that phone's ringing now. You needed to be able to discern the voice on that phone. Whose voice is this? Is it the enemy's? Is it God's? Or is it mine? And you really need to be able to get in the word so you'll have better discernment, right? But the basic rule of thumb, does it help me or does it hinder me? And if it's going to hinder you or if it's anything negative, don't pick up the phone call. Don't adopt the thought. Put the phone down. I'll wait for the next call, because maybe that will be a good thought. Or maybe you'll dial something else up, right? You're not going to dial a number that is going to cause you conflict. Dial a number that's going to make you happy, your girlfriend, right? It's the same thing with a thought. Think of something that's going to bring you happiness or purpose or drive, something that's going to better your life. And when it comes down to like actual acting, right? Because we covered the mental warfare of everything. When it comes down to anxiety, one of the best ways to overcome anxiety is by action. Sometimes maybe it's not a traumatic thing that happened to you. Sometimes maybe it's not, like a relationship. Sometimes anxiety comes from, I hope I do good on that test. Guess what? If you want the anxiety to go away, pick up a pen and paper and start studying. Study more for the test. Do actions that are going to make sure that there is no fear of you failing. Put in enough work that there's no fear of you failing. That's what you have to do. When it comes to the gym, if I want abs, I can't let things go that might take away the chances of me getting abs, because then I will operate in a fear mindset, an anxious mindset. If I know I hit my steps, I tracked my macros, I crushed my workout, I did my cardio, I got in the sauna for 20 minutes. What fear is there to have? I did everything I could, right, to set myself up for success. And if the anxious thought and the fear is still coming back, remember, the enemy doesn't take a 15-minute lunch break. He's not going to take a 15 or a 30 or a day off. He's constantly after your mind. That's where you need the mental game to come in. You need to take action, but you also need to mentally prep. You need to mentally clear out your brain and take ownership and then take control of your mind. It all starts with the mind. It starts there, it will end there. Apply these things to your life, and I'm telling you, you will be able to beat anxiety almost every time. Because there's times, you're going to be human, where sometimes it's just you're a little anxious, right? We're all human. But you will be able to overcome that anxiety that you're feeling. Remember, because it's not yours to carry. It is a choice. It is a choice. It's not yours to carry. It's fake. It is not from our God. It is not from our Father. It is from the deceiver. And what is his name? The deceiver. He tries to deceive us with lies. It's a lie. Anything coming from the enemy is a lie. Literally, that feeling is bullshit. It's actually a lie. You don't need to carry it anymore, bro. You don't need to carry it. It is not yours to carry. Instead, carry the word. Carry the truth that comes from God. The voice that says you can do it. You can get in the best shape of your life. You will do good things. You do have a bright future. And put action behind it, so there's no way you could fail. My mic's about to die, guys. I appreciate all you guys for watching. I love you. And if you're not subscribed, it really helped me if you hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and comment on like what topics you guys might want me to talk about. Like I said, I'm just gonna give you guys my brain and put it in here. Maybe it might help people, like other 20-year-olds who are young and ambitious. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching. Peace out. God bless.